WOR-FM New York.
Reports of a possible ceasefire before November 7th. This is John Bennett, WOR-FM News.
President Nixon's Special Security Advisor, Dr. Henry Kissinger, flew to Phnom Penh today for talks with Cambodian President Lon Nol. Officials would not say what the two discussed, but it is known that Dr. Kissinger has been briefing South Vietnamese President Nguyen Van Thieu on developments at the Paris peace talks and Kissinger's own secret parleys there with North Vietnamese negotiators. After his 4-hour trip, Kissinger came back to Saigon aboard his Air Force jet to his 5th meeting in 4 days with President Thieu, presumably to discuss possible terms for a settlement of the war.
That was correspondent Paul Vogel in Saigon. Informed sources say South Vietnamese President Thieu has agreed in principle to a ceasefire proposal. They say it was worked out by U.S. Presidential Advisor Henry Kissinger and could be announced by the November 7th election. This is John Bennett, WOR-FM News.
Never waiting for us, girl. It ran one step ahead as we followed in the dance. Between the parted pages and we're pressed in love's hot-fevered arms. This park is melting in the dark, all the sweet green icing flowing down. Someone left the cake out in the rain. I don't think that I can take it, 'cause it took so long to bake it, and I'll never have that recipe again. Oh no. I recall the yellow cotton dress foaming like a wave on the ground around your knees. The birds like tender babies in your hands, and the old men playing checkers by the trees. This park is melting in the dark, all the sweet green icing flowing down. Someone left the cake out in the rain. I don't think that I can take it, 'cause it took so long to bake it, and I'll never have the recipe again. Oh no. Another song for me, for I will sing it. There will be another dream for me, someone will bring it. I will drink the wine while it is warm, and never let you catch me looking at the sun. And after all the loves of my life, after all the loves of my life, you'll still be the one. I will take my life into my hands, and I will use it. But office park is melting in the dark. All the sweet green ice ain't flowing down. Someone left the cake out in the rain. I don't think that I can take it, 'cause it took so long to bake it, and I'll never have that recipe again.
WXLO, New York. Rock on!
XLO, New York, and it's only the beginning. Jimmy King on your Monday morning, same old me at 5:04 at 98.7. Bill Withers and Hughes Man.
Feel it's their appointed duty. They keep trying to tell me all you want to do is use me. But my answer ain't all that use me stuff. I want to spread the news that if it feels it's good getting used, oh, you just keep on using me until you use me up. Until you use me up. My brother sit me right down and he talked to me. Oh, he told me that I ought not to let you just walk on me. And I'm sure he meant well. Yeah, but when I talk was through, I said, brother, if you only knew, you'd wish that you were in my shoes. You just keep on using me until you use me up. Until you use me up. Sometimes that's true, you really do abuse me. You get me in a crowd of high-class people, and then you act real rude to me. Until you use me up. Until you use me up. Talking about you, useless people, it all depends on what you do. It ain't too bad the way you using me, 'cause I sure am using you to do the things you do.
Oh, I like that a bunch. On WOR-FM, that's Bill Withers. It's 5:07. Good morning to you.
Oh, listening to XLO pays off in real prizes. There's a winner every hour, 7 a.m. to midnight, in the XLO prize payoff. All you do is pick X, L, or O and win the prize behind that letter. We've got thousands of dollars in prizes waiting for the winning call. It could be an FM radio, a Polaroid Big Shot camera, a color TV, or a complete library of Beatles or Rolling Stones albums. Everybody's a winner in the XLO prize payoff, starting Friday morning at 7.
WXLO.
I know a place. Ain't nobody crying. Ain't nobody worried. No. Ain't no smiling faces. No, no. Lying
that New Orleans special herself. At WOR-FM, it's 5:11, and here's Arlo Guthrie.
Riding on the city of New Orleans, Illinois Central, Monday morning rail. 15 cars and 15 restless riders, 3 conductors, 25 sacks of mail. All along the southbound Odyssey, the train pulls out at Kankakee and rolls along past houses, farms, and fields, passing trains that have no name, freight yards full of old black men, and the graveyards of the rusted automobiles. Good morning, America, how are you? Said, don't you know me? I'm your native son. I'm the train they call the city of New Orleans. I'll be gone 500 miles when the day is done. Dealing card games with the old man in the club car. Penny a point, ain't no one keeping score. As the paper bag that holds the bottle, feel the wheels rumbling neath the floor. And the sons of foremen porters and the sons of engineers write their father's magic carpets made of steel. Mothers with their babes asleep, rocking to the gentle beat, and the rhythm of the rails is all they feel. Good morning, America, how are you? Said, don't you know me? I'm your native son. I'm the train they call the city of New Orleans. I'll be gone 500 miles when the day is done. Nighttime on the city of New Orleans, changing cars in Memphis, Tennessee. Halfway home, and we'll be there by morning. Through the Mississippi darkness, rolling down to the sea. But all the towns and people seem to fade into a bad dream, and to steal the rail still ain't heard the news. The conductor sings his songs again, the passengers will please refrain. This train got to disappear in railroad blues. Good night, America, how are you? Said, don't you know me? I'm your native son. I'm the train they call the city of New Orleans. I'll be gone 500 miles when the day is done.
It's only a train called the City of New Orleans, or New Orleans, if you prefer. From XLO, it's 5:15. It's a kind of a cool morning in the city. It's going to be cloudy with a chance of rain or drizzle all the way through tomorrow, with the overnight lows in the 50s, daytime highs in the low 60s. Midtown now, it's 55 degrees. Make life happier for just one child. Become a foster parent. To do this, write to the Children's Aid Society, Box 227, New York 10010.
98.7 XLO.
I may be seeing you all around. Wanna change Why, baby, bye-bye. I guess I'm gonna make it okay. I'll see you in the funny papers someday. Bye-bye, baby, bye-bye. Well, so long, my honey, so long. Too bad you had to drift away, 'cause I could use some company right on this road on today. Yeah, yeah. Well, I know that you got things to do and places to be, and I guess I'll have to find a thing and place on me. I may wind up in the street or sleeping in a tree. Still, I guess you know, but I've gotta go. Bye, baby, bye-bye. Lord, I might have been your wife, but you sent on for a place right in my heart. You didn't want a place in my life. So long, my honey, so long. I guess you know you're on your own. It seems we just got lost somewhere out in the world, and you left me here to face it all alone. You left me here to face it all alone. You left me here to face it all alone. Yeah, yeah. I said bye, bye, baby, baby, bye.
There's a winner every hour, 7 a.m. to midnight, in the XLO prize payoff. Be ready to call and collect Friday morning at 7 o'clock. Jimmy King here, 519 with Michael Jackson and his friend Ben.
When the two of us need look no more, we both found what we were looking for. With a friend to call my own, I'll never be alone. And you, my friend, will see you got a friend in me.
at 5:22. At 55 degrees in the city this morning, a chance of a little rain or drizzle all the way through tomorrow. Rain and drizzle, huh? Albert Hammond in stereo for you. And the song is It Never Rains in Southern California, baby. It pours. Say yes.
Got on board a westbound 747. Didn't think before deciding what to do. Oh, that talk of opportunities, TV breaks and movies rang true, sure and true. Seems it never rains in Southern California. Seems I've often heard that kind of talk before. It never rains in California, but girl, don't they warn ya? It pours, man, it pours. Out of work, I'm out of my head. Out of self-respect, I'm out of breath. I'm underloved, I'm underfed. I wanna go home. It never rains in California, but girl, don't they warn ya? It pours, man, it pours. Will you tell the folks back home I nearly made it? Had offers but don't know which one to take. Please don't tell them how you found me. Don't tell them how you found me. Give me a break. Give me a break. Seems it never rains in Southern California. Seems I've often heard that kind of talk before. It never rains in California.
That's so low. 5:25. Jets and Giants both won their games yesterday, and the Oakland A's won the World Series. Kind of a nice weekend for sports, huh? Stay with me. This is Rod Stewart and Faces.
FM-WXLO, New York. Rock on!
Sit right down and talk to me about how you ought to be. You ought to be with me. Yeah, you ought to be with me. Thinking about what people do, talking about how I love you, thinking there's nothing to what they say. You're gonna be with me anyway. They don't want to see us do all of the things we want to. You ought to be with me. Hey, you ought to be with me. Oh, you don't have to waste my time. If you want to be a friend of mine, you can leave tonight and walk away and turn your back for another day. Oh, baby. Ought to be the kind of girl that can brighten this old world. And it's hard to see why you and me can't be together happily. I'm trying to realize you've been with some other guy. I don't know the reason why. You ought to be with me until I die. Hey, you ought to be with me until I die. I don't want to waste my time. If you want to be a friend of mine, wanna hold you tight, love you right, put a good feeling in your
Place where the music comes from. That's where you're at, 98.7. XLO at 5:33. Nights in white satin. Moody Blues.
Nights in white satin, never reaching the end. Letters I've written, never meaning to send. Beauty I'd always missed with these eyes before. Just what the truth is, I can't say anymore, 'cause I love you. Yes, I love you. Gazing at people, some hand in hand, just what I'm going through, they can understand. Some try to tell me thoughts they cannot defend. Just what you want to be, you'll be in the end. And I love you. Yes, I love you.
uncertain, never reaching the end. Letters I've written, never meaning to send. Beauty I've always missed with these eyes before. Just what the truth is, I can't say anymore, 'cause I love you. Yes, I love you.
There's a winner every hour, 7 a.m. to midnight, in the XLO Prize Payoff. Get ready to call for your haul starting Friday morning at 7.
WXLO.
President Nixon stands by the Vietnam vets. This is John Bennett, WXLO News.
President Nixon, in a Veterans Day radio message, says the nation should honor the boys returning from Vietnam, and he says these young men deserve not only a welcome, but a job. Mr. Nixon, in the paid political broadcast, though not mentioning George McGovern by name, took a jab at his Democratic opponent.
Some of the voices we hear today calling for a weak America, for an isolationist America, are little more than echoes of past blunders.
And Mr. Nixon pledged that so long as he is president, America will not turn her back on those who served. He added, "We are not going to make a mockery of their sacrifice by surrendering to the enemy or by offering amnesty to draft dodgers and deserters. These," he said, "must pay a price for their choice."
That was correspondent Dennis Kahane. In his text, Nixon lauded the 2.5 million servicemen who he said choose to serve in Vietnam and pledged not to make a mockery of their sacrifices. Nixon said the few hundred men who chose to desert the country must pay a price for that choice. Life magazine also joined the President's Corner. The publication which endorsed Nixon in 1968 is backing the president again this year. The magazine says Nixon has restored a sense of order, if not harmony, to the United States. And a new Gallup poll shows college students about equally divided between the two presidential contenders. Democratic Congressman William Moorhead of Pennsylvania says he has discovered that one of his men involved in the Watergate bugging case, James McCord Jr., was also involved in the drafting of a secret government blueprint for imposing national censorship during wartime. Moorhead says the censorship plan details steps to be taken for opening mail, monitoring broadcasts, and questioning travelers entering the country during a limited war such as the Vietnam conflict. Moorhead says McCord also participated in drafting a national watch list as part of that censorship plan. Informed South Vietnamese sources in Saigon say President Thieu has agreed in principle to a ceasefire. According to the sources, Thieu is now willing to at least discuss a South Vietnamese coalition government proposed by the communists. In the past, Thieu has adamantly opposed such an accommodation with the North. With details now, correspondent Paul Vogel.
Well, military commanders in the area, Vietnamese military commanders, say they've been expecting this sort of thing for the past 2 or 3 months. From interrogating captured prisoners and documents, they say they have learned that the communists are trying to grab populated areas, for one thing, in the likelihood that there would be some sort of a ceasefire in which they would hold territory which had the densest population possible, and at the same time they want to make headlines while negotiations are going on between Dr. Kissinger and other representatives of the United States and representatives of Hanoi in order to make their presence felt throughout the world, so that they make headlines, so that they can say we are a viable force. This, again, is what military commanders say they have learned from captured documents and from interrogating prisoners.
Newsweek says Kissinger and a North Vietnamese negotiator have agreed in principle on a ceasefire. Newsweek says the agreement also includes the release of all POWs and the formation of an interim coalition government until national elections. 2 transportation strikes may be ending today. Nearly 13,000 General Motors assembly line workers in Kansas City, Kansas, Janesville, Wisconsin, and Arlington, Texas are set to return to their jobs either today or tomorrow after weekend striking. They're protesting alleged production line speed-ups. But 14,000 more GM workers across the nation may take up where they leave off this Thursday and Friday. In New York City, REA Express has offered its 15,000 employees a 2-year contract. It provides for wage increase ranging from 16% to 24%, $200 in back pay, and a cost of living rise effective in January. Philippine authorities say they are in complete control of the riotous situation at Maui City that left at least 59 persons dead. Information Secretary Francisco Tatad says the fighting ended yesterday morning in the town 400 miles south of Manila. The government had airlifted 300 Marines and Army troops in to quell what the spokesman calls an organized uprising by between 100 to 400 heavily armed Maoists. 4 Turkish hijackers are threatening to blow up a Turkish Airlines Boeing 707 and 76 passengers today unless some political and social demands are met. The men who commandeered the Turkish jet to Sofia, Bulgaria yesterday morning seek the release of 13 political prisoners held in Turkey and want them flown to Bulgaria along with their families and granted political asylum. The hijackers also want major social reforms in Turkey, including more freedom for students at Turkish universities. Democratic presidential nominee George McGovern says President Nixon is getting ready to dump South Vietnamese President Thieu. McGovern predicted on a national broadcast program yesterday that Nixon will abandon South Vietnamese President Thieu in order to achieve a pre-election settlement of the war. McGovern is also predicting a Truman-type victory at the polls on November 7th. He says he's confident of an upset victory by a narrow margin. Pollster Lewis Harris says there is about a 26 percentage point difference between McGovern and President Nixon right now. But there were some good points for McGovern in that Harris poll. Lewis Harris tells us.
66% of the voters feel that Senator McGovern is right to emphasize the so-called profiteering on the wheat deal with Russia. We find 61% feel that Senator McGovern is right to charge close ties between the Nixon administration and big business. And finally, we do find that the Watergate episode is beginning to take some hold, and we find it's making some dents into Mr. Nixon now.
Pollster Lewis Harris. Talk of a possible ceasefire has done little to slow down that Vietnam War. American bombers dropped tons of explosives about 25 miles from Saigon last night to prevent a possible second shelling of the Bien Hoa Air Base. 31 Americans and South Vietnamese were injured and 2 South Vietnamese killed when communists poured rockets into that huge base on Saturday. In ground fighting, the South Vietnamese reported killing 73 communists in a series of skirmishes in the Central Highlands. Another 69 communists reportedly were killed by airstrikes in the area. 25 young black sailors aboard the aircraft carrier USS Kitty Hawk are facing special courts-martial today on charges of assault and rioting stemming from night-long fighting aboard the ship almost 2 weeks ago. Racial fighting began in the Kitty Hawk mess hall, the Navy says, and then the trouble spread across the ship. 46 sailors were injured. The incident occurred as the carrier served off the coast of Vietnam. While campaigning yesterday, Senator McGovern talked about his economic proposals.
They want to scare you into thinking that I'm some kind of an economic radical who's going to threaten your jobs or your taxes or your economic security. The truth of the matter is, this present administration has the worst economic record of any administration in modern times.
Senator George McGovern. There will be some unexpected silence in Westchester County today when President Nixon makes a campaign swing through 12 Westchester County communities. Some music, originally scheduled, will not be played. Local high school bands that at first had been scheduled to play as the president passed by have now decided to sit this one out. In the case of Sleepy Hollow High School, State Education Commissioner Ewald Nyquist supported the decision by School Superintendent Richard Lehrer forbidding participation. Lehrer said the Terrytown Board of Education decided Thursday not to allow the band to play and revealed that Nyquist, in a telephone conversation Friday, asserted that it was not advisable for a school band to participate in a partisan political event. Environmental Conservation Commissioner Henry L. Diamond battles smog, traffic, and pigeons in the city today on the last lap of his cross-state bicycle ride to urge passage of the $1.15 billion conservation bond issue this fall. The last day of the 526-mile trip from Niagara Falls directed the commissioner to Central Park, a pier on the west side, and finally to his home on Long Island, campaigning for voter approval of the issue on the November 7th ballot. Diamond's pilgrimage fell 30 minutes behind schedule yesterday, the first tardiness in the 11-day excursion, as he pedaled down the Hudson Highlands from Newburgh to Terrytown. College students are nearly equally divided in their support of President Nixon and Senator George McGovern, with McGovern preferred by a 2% margin, according to a Gallup poll. Saying the survey dimmed the hopes of the McGovern forces to win huge majorities on the college campuses, Gallup listed 49% of the students for McGovern, compared to 47% for Nixon. The remaining 4%, the poll said, were undecided or were for other candidates. A veteran Brooklyn patrolman was killed yesterday while on routine scooter duty when a fully loaded gas truck backed out of a storage depot and accidentally ran him down. A police spokesman said 41-year-old patrolman Joseph Metters of Brooklyn, a veteran of 17 years on the force, was killed instantly when the right rear wheels of the truck, loaded with 42 tons of gasoline, ran over him. The truck was backing out of a Sunoco gasoline storage yard at Avenue U and East 56th Street when it struck Metters, who was on a routine motor scooter duty for the Brooklyn Avenue Station House. Restrictive bidding practices by state agencies costs New York State taxpayers millions of dollars more than is paid by other states or by the federal government, according to Comptroller Arthur Levitt. In an audit released yesterday, Levitt urged a number of improvements in procedures by which the Office of General Services buys supplies for the state. OGS Commissioner A.C. O'Hara responded that the areas mentioned were currently being re-examined and that the recommendations reinforce certain procedural changes already underway. Motorists in Paterson, New Jersey were startled a bit yesterday when a bright red passenger balloon landed in the middle of Route 22. The 3 balloonists from Mount Kisco, New York, were uninjured, but police said there was a massive traffic jam while the balloon was deflated and removed from the road. In sports, the Oakland Athletics returned home as world champions to a tumultuous welcome. Nearly 35,000 persons were on hand at Oakland International Airport last night as the A's came back from their 7th game 3-2 victory over the Cincinnati Reds. George Knudson won his first tournament on the PGA Golf Tour in more than 2 years when he took the $30,000 top prize in the Kaiser International at Napa, California. Knudson finished 3 strokes ahead of Bobby Nichols and Hale Irwin. In pro football, the Giants defeated St. Louis 27-21, and the Jets over Baltimore 24-20. In the NHL, New York Rangers tied Montreal 1 apiece. In the WHA, Minnesota 5, New York 4, and in the ABA, New York 119, Utah 116. Playing without Kareem Abdul-Jabbar doesn't seem to have an effect on the Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee won its third straight as Bob Dandridge poured in 27 points to give the Bucks a 104-84 victory over the Cleveland Cavaliers. In other NBA games last night, Los Angeles defeated Chicago 104-99, and Seattle beat Portland 120-119 in overtime. Don Massengale of Greenwich, Connecticut has won the $15,000 first prize in the PGA Club Professional Championship at Pinehurst, North Carolina. Host pro Don Bruno finished second. Sam Snead was third. Veteran Betsy Rawls posted a three-stroke victory at the Ladies GAC Classic in Tucson, Arizona with a 36-hole total of 3 under par, 141. And Bobby Allison drove his Chevrolet to a 2-lap victory over Richard Petty in the American 500 stock car race at Rockingham, North Carolina. Allison, the leading money winner in the NASCAR circuit, picked up a check for more than $17,000 for that win. Australian John Newcomb defeated Marty Reeson 6-7, 7-6, 7-6, 7-5 to win the $50,000 Rothmans Tennis Tournament at Vancouver, British Columbia. The win was worth $10,000 to that top-seeded Australian. And 2 thoroughbred ponies were found lying, one on top of the other in Philadelphia yesterday. They both had apparently been stoned to death by a group of vandals who broke into the stable during the night. Officials of the Pennsylvania chapter of the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals call it the worst case of animal brutality they've ever seen. All 27 of the horses in the ramshackled stable at the Fort Richmond section of Philadelphia had been stoned. 2 horses were struck with large chunks of concrete slab, and another horse had been beaten with a board that had nails protruding from it. WXLO News Time, 5:52.
One day, a nice old guy came into our legal aid office in Harlem.
I'm 92 years old. I've lived in this building for 43 years.
His landlord said he didn't pay his rent.
I said, man, what are you talking about? Because I paid my rent. That's the first thing I do, pay my rent. Paid my rent right up.
He did always pay, but the checks were never cashed, a game some landlords play to evict tenants and raise the rent. So a legal aid lawyer took the landlord to court.
I don't know what I've done. I don't know.
We help 250,000 poor people a year. And, you know, it has its rewards.
And we won the case. I shook the lawyer's hand, and I couldn't help but cry to save my life.
Give money to Legal Aid. 11 Park Place, New York City. You can't call a lawyer if you haven't got a dime.
New York weather mostly cloudy today. A chance for periods of rain this afternoon, tonight, and Tuesday. High today in the mid-60s, low tonight in the mid-50s. The temperature in Queens, 53, the Bronx, 55, Brooklyn, 53, Staten Island, 56, Newark, 56, right now in Midtown, 54 degrees. This is John Bennett, WXLO News.
Piece of grass, walking down the road. Tell me, how long you gonna stay here, Joe? Some people say this town don't look good in snow. You don't care, I know. Ventura Highway in the sunshine, where the days are longer, the nights are stronger than moonshine. You're gonna go, I know. Whoa, 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 whoa. 'Cause the free wind is blowing through your hair, and the days surround your daylight there. Seasons crying, no despair. Alligator lizards in the air, in the air. Wishing on a falling star, waiting for the early train. Sorry, boy, but I've been hit by purple rain. Oh, come on, my way in the sunshine, where the days are longer, the nights are stronger than moonshine. You're gonna go, I know. Wind is blowing through your hair, and the days surround your daylight there. Seasons crying, no despair. Alligator lizards in the air, in the
WXLO. Jimmy King on your Monday morning at 5:57. Let me lay a little music on the guy in Pigskill, Barry. Here's a song for you, man.
I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. I think I can make it now. The pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is that rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue sky. Look straight ahead, nothing but blue sky. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day.
Oh, I remember a lot of bright sunshiny days. From XLO, Palisades Park.
Down like a roller coaster, back like a loop-de-loop, and
FM-WXLO, New York. Rock on!
Everybody's misused him, ripped him off and abused him. Another junkie plan, pushing dope for the man. A terrible blow, but that's how it goes. Freddy's on the corner now. If you wanna be a junkie, wow. Remember Freddy's dead. We're all built up with progress, but sometimes I must confess we can deal with rockets and dreams, but reality, what does it mean? Ain't nothing said, 'cause Fred is dead.
Stereo 98.7. XLO rocks on in New York.
Girl, you're getting that look in your eyes, and it's starting to worry me. I ain't ready for no family ties. Nobody's gonna hurry me. Just keep it friendly, girl, 'cause I don't want to leave. Don't start clinging to me, girl, 'cause I can't breathe. Baby, baby, don't get hooked on me. Baby, baby, don't get hooked on me. 'Cause I'll just use you, then I'll set you free. Baby, baby, don't get hooked on me. Girl, you're a hot-blooded woman, child, and it's warm where you're touching me. but I can tell by your trembling smile you're seeing way too much in me. Girl, don't let your life get tangled up with mine, 'cause I'll just leave you. I can't take no clinging fine. Baby, baby, don't get hooked on me. Baby, baby, don't get hooked on me. 'Cause I'll just use you, then I'll set you free. Baby, baby, don't get hooked on me. Baby, baby, don't get hooked on me. Baby, baby, don't get hooked on me. 'Cause I'll just use you, then I'll set you free.
Oh, Mac Davison, baby, baby, don't get hooked on me. 607 at XLO, Jimmy King with a great big good morning to you.
You're good for more. It's great to know you're good for more.
XLO Prize Payoff. There's a winner every hour, 7 a.m. to midnight. All you do is pick X, L, or O and win the prize behind that letter. FM radios, Polaroid big shot cameras, color TVs, and complete Beatles and Rolling Stones libraries are waiting for the right call. Everybody's a winner in the XLO Prize Payoff, starting Friday morning at 7.
WXLO.
XLO at 611 and stereo for you. Naturally, Jim Croce. It's called Operator.
Operator, well, could you help me place this call? See, the number on the matchbook is old and faded. Living in LA with my best old ex-friend Ray. sometimes hate it. Isn't that the way they say it goes? Well, let's forget all that and give me the number if you can find it, so I can call just to tell them I'm fine and to show I've overcome the blow. I've learned to take it well. I only wish my words could just convince myself that it just wasn't real, but that's not the way it feels. Operator, but could you help me place this call? 'Cause I can't read the number that you just gave me. There's something in my eyes, you know it happens every time. I think about the love that I thought would save me. But isn't that the way they say it goes? Well, let's forget all that and give me the number if you can find it, so I can call just to tell them I'm fine and to show I've overcome the blow. I've learned to take it well. I only wish my words could just convince myself that it just wasn't real, but that's not the way it feels. No, 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 that's not the way it feels. Operator, well, let's forget about this call. No one there I really wanted to talk to. Thank you for your time. Oh, you've been so much more than kind. You can keep the dime. But isn't that the way they say it goes? Well, let's forget all that and give me the number if you can find it, so I can call just to tell them I'm fine and to show I've overcome the blow. I've learned to take it well. I only wish my words could just convince myself that it just wasn't real, but that's not the way it feels.
Operator, that's Jim Croce at XLO at 6:15. Good morning to you. Today being a holiday, Veterans Day, that is, observance of same. Alternate side of the street parking regulations are suspended. In sports action over the weekend, the big thing was the World Series. The Oakland A's won the World Series over the Cincinnati Reds, the score of yesterday's game, 3-2. In the National Football League, it was the Jets 24, Baltimore 20. The Giants won theirs 27-21 over St. Louis. And in the National Hockey League, it was the Rangers and Montreal tied 1-1. In the World Hockey Association, Minnesota 5, New York 4. And in the ABA, it was New York 119, Utah 116. It's going to be mostly cloudy today with a chance of periods of rain this afternoon, tonight, and tomorrow. The high today to be in the mid-60s, tonight's low in the mid-50s. Right now, Midtown is 55 degrees. If there ever was a right time to go someplace, this is that time. American Airlines announces the great airfare sale. The price of a ticket in some cases cut almost in half. For instance, Los Angeles or San Francisco, where the regular round-trip price is $336, American Airlines sale price is $179.95. And Dallas, the regular price is $204. American Airlines sale price is $129.95. Now, all this starts October 31st, and it's going to last for only 6 weeks. And you don't have to be any certain age. You don't have to travel with anybody else. Here's what you got to do. Just fly 1,000 miles or more to any city that American Airlines flies to in the continental United States. No stopovers. Leave during the middle of the week, stay 7 to 9 days, and return during the middle of the week, with one exception, November 22nd. Isn't that a deal, huh? It's all a small price to pay for such big savings. Call your travel agent or American Airlines. Buy your ticket at least a week in advance. American's great airfare sale. Reserve your seat now. 6 weeks after it begins, it's all over.
Stereo XLO.
What do you do when you lose all this? Nobody's waiting about
the stereo. From XLO, that's Derek and the Dominoes and Layla. Jimmy King with a good morning at 6:24.
4 years ago, Richard Nixon said, "We are on the road to recovery from the disease of runaway prices." Since Mr. Nixon became president, the cost of whole wheat bread has gone from 31 cents to 45 cents. Since Mr. Nixon became president, the price of hamburger has gone from 58 cents to 89 cents. Since Mr. Nixon became president, the cost of frozen fish has gone from 69 cents to $1.29. Since Mr. Nixon became president, the cost of living has gone up 19%, and your wages have been frozen. So next time you're in the supermarket, ask yourself, can you afford 4 more years of Mr. Nixon? This message has been brought to you by the McGovern for President Committee.
WXLO.
Oh, I feel pretty good about the whole thing. This being a Monday, you know, kind of a holiday for a lot of people, too. Fifth Dimension, 6:25. If I could reach you.
It's hours till dawn, and there's no one who'd rather be with you. I know, you know, other girls like me. I let you take my love, knowing you don't love me. But if I could reach you some way, if I knew the magic it would take to love you good enough on the outside, make you feel it on the inside, maybe I could make you stay. If I could reach you. The dark is getting light, and you're dressed to go, and never said a word about tomorrow. But if I could reach you some way, if I knew the magic it would take to love you good enough on the outside, and make you feel it on the inside, maybe I could make you stay. See you next time. I'll see you next time.
You and me at XLO on a Monday morning at 6:28. Just hanging on. 4 seasons.
What we got. You say you're gonna go and call it quits, gonna chuck it all and break our love to bits. Breaking up. I wish you never said enough. No, no, we'll both be friends. That is FM-WXLO, New York. Rock on!
You're at XLO on top of the rock in New York. Mata Hoople and all the young dudes.
Rapped all night about his suicide. I'd kick it in the head when he was 25. Speed jive, don't want to stay alive when you're 25. And when you're stealing clothes from Marks and Sparks, and Freddy's got spots from red, then up the side from his face, funky little road rage. The television man is crazy, Sam with juvenile delinquent Rex. Oh man, I need TV when I got T-Rex. Oh brother, you can't have a dude now. The young dude, hey dude, carry the news. Where are you? Like a mule, it's a real mean team, but we can love. Oh yes, we can love. And my brother's back at home with his Beatles and his Stones. We never got it off on that revolution stuff. What a drag. Too many snags. Nah, I drunk a lot of wine and I'm feeling fine. Gotta raise some cab to bed. Oh, is there concrete all around? Or is it in my head?
Good news. 6:37 at XLO. We're going to have a mostly cloudy day today with a chance of rain later on this afternoon. Same for tonight and tomorrow, in fact. 55 degrees and skies kind of cloudy in the city. Then make sure that you get to Alexander's today for some incredible Veterans Day buys on warm winter outerwear. Truly superb outerwear from a nationally advertised famous maker. Today, only $29 at Alexander's. And that $29 puts most of them below original wholesale price. They're the kind and quantity that you'd expect to pay almost 2 and 3 times more for. Alexander's has this men's outerwear in a variety of handsome suburban styles. All with super warm quilt or pile linings. They're perfect now that the cold weather is hit. That was like my shower this morning. Great looking too in wools, wool blends, plush corduroys, mini and rich pile collars. All of this famous maker's fashions and quality details are there at Alexander's incredible price, $29. Now that's below wholesale for most of them. Men's luxury winter Suburbans from nationally advertised famous makers. Most below wholesale at $29 today at Alexander's. Remember, it's Veterans Day, and the prices are more incredible than ever.
Everybody's a winner in the XLO prize payoff. Thousands of dollars in prizes are waiting for the right call starting Friday morning at 7.
WXLO.
Can't get you out of my mind. I see your face in everything I do. It feels like I've known you for a long, long time. I only want to make it with you. Something in your eyes that just won't let me forget you. Something in your face that keeps me hanging around you. Something got a hold on me the day that I met you. Something's wrong with me. Something's wrong with me. Yesterday I saw you on the street with someone. I said it doesn't matter to me. Behind the smile I'm wearing are the tears of a clown. 'Cause loving you is where I wanna be. Something in your eyes that just won't let me forget you. Something in your face that keeps me hanging around you. Something got a hold on me the day that I met you. Something's wrong with me. Something's wrong with me. There's something wrong with me. Girl, there's something wrong with me. There's something wrong. Oh, something in your eyes that just won't let me forget you. Something in your face that keeps me hanging around you. Something got a hold on me the day that I met you. Something's wrong. Something in your eyes that just won't let me forget you.
Prospects for peace improve in South Vietnam. This is John Bennett, WXLO News.
President Nixon's super negotiator, Dr. Henry Kissinger, is continuing his marathon of meetings here in Indochina. Early today, he met with South Vietnamese President Nguyen Van Thieu. Then he went back to the U.S. Embassy, where he met with American officials, and then made a flight to the Cambodian capital at Phnom Penh, where he met for several hours dinners with President Lon Nol. After that, it was back to Saigon and another meeting with President Thieu. Officials will say only that Dr. Kissinger is engaging in a review of the general situation and latest developments at the Paris peace talks. The talks here have sent rumors of an imminent ceasefire sweeping Saigon.
That was correspondent Paul Vogel. Kissinger held one final 2.5-hour meeting with Thieu this morning to cap 5 other such conferences. Afterward, Thieu summoned provincial, city, and police officials for a mass palace meeting, apparently about ceasefire roles. There's no official confirmation from Saigon of reports that the U.S. and North Vietnam have agreed to a general peace deal. South Vietnamese forces, however, say Thieu has told junior military officers to be ready to supervise local truce activity. Communist forces are pressing their offensive in the central highlands of South Vietnam today. A pre-dawn North Vietnamese attack hit a government ranger position near the Cambodian border. The infantry assault on the outpost southwest of Pleiku City was preceded by an artillery and mortar barrage. Initial field reports say 8 rangers are missing. The site, Dak To, has been under increasing pressure for the past week. An economic review and political campaigning dominate President Nixon's schedule today. Nixon will confer with chief money advisors at the White House about legislation just passed by the now adjourned Congress. The chief executive will head later for the populous suburbs of New York City for a rare vote-seeking tour. Nixon says his absence from public events is due to such presidential work as combating inflationary federal spending. It's been 1 week now since the disappearance of a plane over Alaska that carried House Democratic leader Hale Boggs and 3 others. Still, no sign of the missing plane has been uncovered. 2 jet reconnaissance planes and 52 others searched the murky skies over Alaska's rugged southeastern coast yesterday. Major Ken Barker in Alaska tells us,
"We'll have those working most of the day. The weather in the lower southern portion of the search area down around Juneau is not as good as it is in the northern part of the search area. Around Anchorage, we have clear skies, a beautiful sunny day, a little bit cold, temperatures down around 30. We have 2 RF-4 aircraft making photo reconnaissance of the area today, and they'll be processing their film throughout the day and giving us inputs from that."
Major Ken Barker on that Alaska search. Consumer advocate Ralph Nader has issued his report on the nation's lawmakers. The congressional profile shows what the lawmakers have and have not done. About his report, Nader says,
"The importance, I think, of these profiles goes well beyond the election as a important information source for citizen groups, individuals, the media, people in government, and also to try to provide the public with a sense of relation to their members so that they have a greater familiarity with what these members are doing and not doing, how they're voting, and who supports them, and what their views are on the issues of the day, in order to encourage further inquiry by citizens around the country, whatever persuasion they may wish to pursue, and to better learn how to participate in congressional deliberations."
Representative Morris Udall of Arizona had a chance to see that Nader report, and the Democratic congressman liked it.
Ralph Nader's taken on a little bit tougher customer and a more difficult target with the Congress than with the automobile industry. The Congress has been notoriously resistant to change, although we've begun to see some changes here in recent years. I do think the Nader report is a constructive public service on the part of Nader and his team. I do think that eventually it will lead to changes, but I don't think you're going to see the dramatic sort of turnaround in the Congress that maybe Ralph Nader and other people would hope for. But I do think, as I say, that this will lead and help lead to a public movement that will involve some changes in the Congress in the future.
Arizona Congressman Morris Udall. Democratic presidential nominee George McGovern begins the final 2 weeks of his long White House campaign today. McGovern is to devote much attention to television in the last-ditch efforts to capture support. The South Dakota senator also will tour the U.S. Naval Hospital in Philadelphia in another political appearance. In his campaigning yesterday, McGovern addressed himself to a presidential debate. Again, McGovern comments came after a Nixon aide had suggested questions for a network television show.
Where is he? He not only refuses to debate me, but he wants to sneak his questions into a network show so that he has the advantage of submitting questions to me without being there to give me an opportunity to quiz him. It's so ridiculous to carry on a campaign that way instead of the two of us appearing on television together. I'm sure that ABC or NBC or CBS or any of the other networks would be more than happy to make the time available.
Senator George McGovern, WXLO News Time, 6:47.
Every day, thousands of businessmen and women fly from New York to Chicago. They represent a cross-section of American commerce, from the advertising business to the appetizing business, from cosmetics to livestock. These are professional travelers, and more of them choose to fly on American than on any other airline. Because at one time or another, all had the same objective, to find the best, most efficient way of flying to Chicago. And they found it. Chet Huntley for American Airlines.
American Airlines. American Airlines. Get the best of everything. Fly with us.
American Airlines offers more nonstop flights to Chicago than any other airlines. 24 daily, every business day. Call your travel agent or American Airlines. The Transit Patrolmen's Benevolent Association advises New Yorkers to avoid subways at non-rush hours and during the night beginning today. They're taking part in a job action. The TPBA Patrolmen's Union President, John May, says the rule book job action is aimed at getting the city to negotiate for a new contract. Long Island Railroad trainmen voted last night to end their sick out and return to work, ending a 3-day protest over a federal pay board decision to cut contractual wage increases. James Walsh, vice chairman of the United Transportation Union, said the trainmen voted in various places on Long Island to return to work. Fire heavily damaged the basement of a local Christian Assembly Church in Forest Hills section of Queens early today. Fire officials say they believe the blaze was started by a white racist. Police said the old 2-story building was taken over by the present 200-member congregation, which includes about 75 black and Hispanic worshipers, after another congregation abandoned it 2 months ago. Contract talks between striking Roosevelt Long Island teachers and the town school board recessed early today, with both sides reporting no progress towards ending the dispute now entering its 3rd week. The two sides met for 7 hours last night and this morning at the Island Inn in Westbury, Long Island. The talks recessed at 3 o'clock this morning. The parties agreed to state mediator Leon Applewhite's request to resume negotiations tonight at the inn at 8 o'clock. REA Express last night offered a new 2-year contract to 15,000 striking employees following lengthy negotiations designed to end a 3-day walkout against their national carrier. The company was struck on Friday by members of the Brotherhood of Railway and Airline Clerks. New York State has threatened to bar little leaguers from playing on land in Queens, which is owned by the State Department of Mental Hygiene. Queens Councilman Matthew Troy and State Senator Murray Schwartz says the state should not do this. They've called a news conference for 11 o'clock this morning outside Governor Rockefeller's Manhattan offices. They'll discuss steps they feel should be taken to make room for the little leaguers when the season starts next spring. In sports, the Oakland Athletics returned home as world champions to a tumultuous welcome. Nearly 35,000 people were on hand at Oakland International Airport last night as the A's came back from their 7th game, 3-2 victory over the Cincinnati Reds. George Knudson won his first tournament on the PGA Golf Tour in more than 2 years when he took the $30,000 top prize in the Kaiser International at Napa, California. Knudson finished 3 strokes ahead of Bobby Nichols and Hale Irwin. In pro football, both New York teams victorious yesterday. The Jets over Baltimore 24-20 and the Giants over St. Louis 27-21. In the National Hockey League, New York Rangers and Montreal tied 1 apiece. And in the ABA, it was New York 119, Utah 116. John Newcomb outdueled Marty Reeson to win the $50,000 Rothmans tennis tournament today at Vancouver, British Columbia. That win was worth $10,000 to the top-seeded Australian, who was extended to 4 sets by Reeson, winning 6-7, 7-6, 7-6, and 7-5. WXLO News Time, 6:51.
When you need money, doesn't it make sense to borrow from the oldest and largest consumer finance company? The company that's had more than 94 years' experience helping people? That company is Household Finance, an equal opportunity lender.
What do you need when you need to borrow money? Right now. But you know it's so nice when you need to borrow. Get more than money, more. You get more understanding from the people you go to. Have more experience with people like you. So where do you go to get more than just money? More than just a loan you need. Come to the people who say, never borrow money, need less fees. But when you need to borrow, you get more than money at HFC. More than just money, Household Finance.
New York weather, mostly cloudy today with a chance for periods of rain this afternoon, tonight, and Tuesday. High today in the mid-60s, low tonight in the mid-50s. The temperature in Queens, 53, the Bronx, 55, Brooklyn, 53, Staten Island, 56, and in Newark, 56. Right now, Midtown, 54 degrees. This is John Bennett, WXLO News.
Night, black and white at beg your pardon, at XOL this morning, 6:56, 55 degrees. It's going to be a cloudy day with a chance of rain or drizzle through tonight. Time now for you to get set for that rugged winter driving you got ahead during pickup hair time at your local General Tire headquarters. All you got to do is take your pick. Winter tires start as low as $37.90 a pair, and regular tires start as low as $35.90 a pair. Both prices are for popular size 713 tubeless black walls. Also, $195 federal excise tax per tire. You can mix or match the Jet Air 3 and the Winter Cleat. The Jet Air 3 is General's famous 4-ply replacement tire. And the Winter Cleat, that one is General's rugged 4-rib snow tire. And it's backed by this promise: you go in snow or General pays the tow. If you want white walls, they're only a few dollars more a tire. And for people with bigger cars, larger sizes of both these great tires are comparably priced. So don't delay. Mount your new snow tires or regular tires today at your local General Tire headquarters.
WXLO.
Smokey and the Miracles. You really got a hold on me this time.
WXLO, New York.